It is a warm, sunny day at the 49ers new stadium as we get set for AFC, NFC matchup. Kansas City and San Francisco coming up here on CBS. Hello, friends. Jim Nantz, along with the Super Bowl MVP quarterback Phil Simms. Two teams coming in with a good frame of mind right now, Phil.
They sure are. How about the 49ers, the victory they pulled out last week? Adversity being behind, everything went against them, and they got the win. In Kansas City, the last 2 weeks, offense and defense, both clicking for them.
Today's game is being broadcast in Spanish. We're available using the SAP button on your television. It's 85 degrees, and it's the hottest 49er home game since 2003. 49ers elected to defer, so they kick it to Knile Davis of the Chiefs out to the 20. And we're now going to mark the return of Alex Smith, coming back to take on the team that brought him into the league back in 2005 as the #1 overall selection of that draft. And he has certainly blossomed out in Kansas City. He's been sharp the last 2 weeks as well, with 6 touchdowns, no picks, leading them to a couple of impressive victories. There's another former #1 overall pick at left tackle, Fisher. And Jenkins, who was a first-round pick a couple years back of the 49ers, traded to Kansas City. He's getting his first start today as Donnie Avery is out with an abductor strain. First down carry goes to Charles, and Jamal Charles has a good gain for about 6 or 7. Running right into the heart of that 49er defense with Justin Smith and Patrick Willis. Charles coming off big numbers on Monday night and that explosive victory put up by the Chiefs over the Patriots at Arrowhead. Second and 3. And Charles falls sideways about a yard shy. We're going to be having audiences join us here in the next few minutes, including this audience. Tennessee sees Cleveland pull off the big-time rally, and the Browns win it 29-28. I'd like to welcome those of you who saw the Cleveland Browns with that stunning comeback on the road to win it. 29-28, Jim Nantz, Phil Simms. We're here in Santa Clara at the new home of the 49ers. First possession of the game, 3rd and 1 for Kansas City. And Alex Smith finds his target, Anthony Fasano, for the first down and a gain of 13. Tracy Wolfson with us today down on the sidelines as well. Let's meet this San Francisco defense of Vic Fangio that forced 4 Philadelphia turnovers last week. Justin Smith, he's just one of the best you'll find. So too is Patrick Willis. Parrish Cox has certainly stepped up this year in that secondary. They're without Tremaine Brock today, out with a toe injury. First down, Chiefs. And another pass to the tight end, Fasano. And that's good for another 6.
Look at this game here today, Jim. Alex Smith, of course, the homecoming. Everybody's talked about it. Off to a nice start, hitting those first 2 passes and finding the second receiver on that 3rd down play, which gives a quarterback confidence. It puts you at ease, and you couldn't hope to start any better than this for Alex Smith.
Alex Smith, who played his first 8 seasons in the league for the 49ers, traded a year and a half ago for a pair of second-round picks. And here on 2nd and 7, tries to get it back over to Fasano for a 3rd time. And Willis would have been there to make contact right away anyhow.
Yeah, that time Aaron Lynch, the big outside linebacker, defensive end, in the way, 6'6". The 49ers really like him. Hope that he turns into a premier pass rusher. They need help.
I'd like to welcome more of the audience that's just joining us now, coming in off that Cleveland victory against Tennessee. Jim Nantz and Phil Simms and Tracy Wolfson out here in the Bay Area. 3rd and 3 coming up for the Kansas City Chiefs on the game's opening drive, and they've got a first down. First down hook up to Junior Hemingway, second-year man from Michigan, good for 10 and over to the San Francisco side.
This Kansas City offense opening week against the Tennessee Titans, a little bland, but we talked to Alex Smith and Andy Reid. They've got out of that preseason mode, in other words, where you just go out there and run basic plays. Now they're more creative, moving the quarterback, lots of formations, and it's tough to really zero in on anything that they're doing.
Al Davis is the running back now. He's had back-to-back 100-yard rushing games. And he gets the call. And off the right side, he's got a gain of 3. But back to Alex Smith, his 10th year out of the University of Utah, and it all started here. #1 overall selection in 05 by the 49ers. And he went through a whole slew of coaches and coordinators. Look what he did. He was 19-5-1 the last 2 years, and now in his 2nd season at Kansas City. Again, as I mentioned, he's been razor sharp the last 2 weeks.
Well, he thought he was the man here in San Francisco. That was taken away from him by Colin Kaepernick, the way he played. But make no doubt about it, he's the man in charge in Kansas City and the leader of the team.
And here he is, going from the pocket and hooking up again with Hemingway, who's hammered down at the 22, and another first down, gain of 17.
This offense really fits what he does very well. Puts a lot of pressure on the quarterback. Watch his eyes to the left, turns and finds the wide open receiver over the middle. When a quarterback looks at the second receiver like he did that time, remember when he looks left, what happens? Everybody moves that way, and that's why Hemingway was wide open over the middle.
Kaepernick just waiting to get his turn. This opening drive for the Chiefs. They have not managed any points on their first possession of the season in any of their games up to this point. But they're threatening here with a first flag. Walt Coleman, our referee.
Neutral zone infraction, number 55, defense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Until Jim Harbaugh became the head coach here, Alex Smith went through 3 head coaches total, 1 interim head coach, and a new offensive coordinator every year until Jim got here.
Well, he had great success under Jim Harbaugh. The record speaks for itself. But also, how about his match with Andy Reid? It's almost like Sean Payton and Drew Brees. They are perfect for each other in their talent and the system they're in.
1st and 5. That's the pass play to Fasano down to the 5.
Well, you've run the ball a couple times. It looks pretty good. It's a good time to do it. The nice fake inside, the throw over the middle. That's a play that 2 years ago, Colin Kaepernick would run about 6 times a game and have success with. You don't see it that often from Kansas City's offense, but he was wide open.
That ball was bobbled around a bit, but he recovered it. Fasano did. His 3rd catch on this drive goes for 12.
San Francisco defense, they play a lot of zone. They sit back. They rely on coming up and making tackles right away to keep you from getting those extra yards.
That's the Anthony Thomas in the backfield. 1st and goal, and Smith looked for a couple of options, now just throws it away.
Good job by the quarterback throwing the football away that time, but I think you saw one of the major problems that the 49ers have on the defensive side. They're big, they're fast, they're tough, they got everything, but with Aldon Smith not in there, Jim, that premier pass rusher, they can't get to the quarterback fast enough, and when you have that kind of time, too much pressure on the defensive backs.
Vic Fangio, their defensive coordinator, he's upstairs and he's looking down at his defense, trying to make something happen here on Kansas City's first drive. And it's 2nd and goal. Charles stopped inside of the 2.
Well, that is, Jim Harbaugh said that was the kingpin of the defense. That's Patrick Willis. What a job just coming up inside, and he takes on the fullback, Anthony Sherman, and stops him. Just, you know, for a linebacker to do this, to stop the fullback in his tracks. Watch the fullback 42. Willis hits and just clogs it up and gives no extra yards there. That is a linebacker in Patrick Willis that can do everything, never comes off the field.
Cyrus Gray has come in for the Chiefs on 3rd and goal. This Niner defense had a goal line stand last week. It's to Kelsey, and the tight end takes it across for the touchdown.
Same play they ran against the New England Patriots on Monday night, just a different carrier this time. They did it to Jamal Charles. And there's another little dance by Kelsey.
Travis Kelce, who caught a touchdown against the Patriots, 8 catches overall. He's their top receiver of the season, and boy, does he look good.
Well, that's a real fine line they had right there that time on the offense. They were blocking downfield way before the football was thrown, but it happened so fast, hard for the officials to see that. What a drive, did a little bit of everything, protected the quarterback, lots of different styles and formation, tough on the defensive 49ers.
12-play drive, covering 81 yards. Alex Smith with a touchdown pass of 2 yards to Travis Kelce. During the body of that 81-yard drive, they converted all 3 times on third down situations.
All good situations for the offense. And how about the diversity of plays and looks and the speed and how easy they made it look. Andy Reid now just a coach, not a personnel guy, and it shows when you look at this Kansas City offense.
Santos with the kick. Ellington back deep. Has a chance to run it out from 7 behind the line, and he's got a nice little wedge. 34-yard return out to about the 27. Anthony Sherman brought him down. Smith now with 7 touchdowns and no picks over the last 2 games plus.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Without a heart, it's just a machine. 2 for $20 fan favorites, only at Applebee's. And by Kelley Blue Book. Find out what you should pay for your next new car at KBB.com.
We're back, and Kaepernick and the 49ers about to take their first snap. They show spread, and then they shift around and back under center. The give is to Gore. And as always, he churns out a hard effort and a gain of 6. Kaepernick in his 4th year out of Nevada. He's 19-8 as a starter. He's going to be without Vernon Davis today. He's out with a back injury. And on the right side, Jonathan Martin moves up to the starting position. Anthony Davis is out with a knee. 2nd and 4. Kaepernick's pass thrown in the direction of Anquan Bolden. 3rd down coming up, and we're going to head you to New York for an update.
Jim, Mr. Incredible.
That's exactly what Peyton Manning is, JB. Here's a 7-yard touchdown pass to Demaryius Thomas. They take the lead 7-3. More importantly, Peyton Manning's 500th touchdown pass of his career, second only to the 508 that Brett Favre threw when he was playing.
Jim Nance, Phil Simms, and Tracy Wolfson.
All right, thank you, guys. So the milestone reached by Peyton as he finds Julius Thomas for the score. 3rd and 4 here for the 49ers. And Kaepernick's got an open man standing at the 40 for the first down as Brandon Lloyd. And a gain of 9 moved the chains. His defense of Kansas City, Bob Sutton's defense, has not allowed a rush touchdown the first 4 games of the season. Justin Houston, just an incredible start. He's had 5 sacks through the first 4 games, and Ron Parker starts at safety for Eric Berry, who's out another week with an ankle injury. Carlos Hyde is the back, and here is the rookie. Pounding ahead over to the Kansas City side as he tried to run over Sean Smith and picks up 9.
Yeah, pretty strong run. Carlos Hyde, he knows the pros, it's not like Ohio State. You don't have time to make a couple moves and fake everybody out. It's about this. See a lane, make a decision, and go full speed and be physical. Pretty good run. Pretty good blocking up front. Good start for this offensive line.
Boy, Hyde learning how to do it, and just watching a lot of the time Gore in the backfield, watching how you run hard in this league for a long time. Kaepernick throws a laser to Bolden, who's got the first down near the 30.
Well, usually you always hear, oh, he fires the ball, and what an arm and all that. It's usually not true, but when you say that about Kaepernick, it is true. You were laughing watching him warm up today, Jim, but a 20-yard outcut, throws it on the line, right on target. This is different for defensive backs to see these type of throws, and how about this protection? Last week, he was under fire from the start, and when you're under fire because your offensive line's not giving you time, it takes away your confidence to make decisions down the field.
On first down, it's Gore, and Gore has another 12 running behind Bruce Miller.
Bruce Miller, very good fullback. Fullbacks are really the the new trend in the NFL right now. He gets the block, and Frank Gore just flies through that hole to get those extra yards. James Michael Johnson, the linebacker, got caught inside. And a lot of complaints out here. Well, when you're not winning every game for the 49ers, they're going to complain about everything. The offensive line, Kaepernick can't find the second receiver. I love that little quote we hear from TV all the time. He's already found the second receiver here today to get this offense going.
Here comes a reverse. And a pass off of it. Bolden, incomplete. Bolden, who was a quarterback in his youth, trying to find Michael Crabtree.
He was an All-American quarterback out of Florida. You're right, and they got it set up. Watch the receiver go to the back of the end zone. He is open. Bolden, you said it, once a quarterback. Look at the receiver. Crabtree gets behind the defense, but he kind of flicks it instead of throwing it, and the football comes up short.
You know, he was a high school quarterback, All-American in high school, went to Florida State as a quarterback.
That's right.
Before they made the shift.
Well, they saw him catch the ball one day, and they said, hey.
2nd and 10, and Kaepernick keeps it. The leading rushing quarterback in the league has 5, tackled by Houston.
It's a really good play call down inside where passing lanes get tighter when you're inside the 20. So the 49ers, one of the few teams, again, coming across that time. It's Carrier, the tight end, gets the kick out, but it gives you the weapon you need inside the 20. And I think the 49ers, Greg Roman, the offensive coordinator, very cognizant of not letting the quarterback do too much, because all these hits can wear you down, and it can be dangerous, of course.
Evie Johnson is in on the near side. Caught a touchdown last week. Got 2 seconds on the play clock here on 3rd and 5. Almost intercepted. Jumping in front of that route, that was Ron Parker.
Ron Parker is the safety back. This happened last week. Kaepernick's got to watch here. When you look right away, watch the Parker make the play towards the football. He's reading the quarterback. He's already moving, and really lucky that was not picked off.
Bill Dawson's going to try a field goal from 31 yards out in his 16th year out of the University of Texas. First 14 years with Cleveland. Now in his 2nd year with the 49ers, and his kick is good. Chiefs came close to blocking that one. Opening drive field goal for the 49ers, 7-3. Special moment before kickoff. Betty Jo Tomsula, the mother of defensive line coach Jim Tomsula of the 49ers. She's a 4-time breast cancer survivor. She sounded the foghorn in the 49ers game day ritual. He had to
he had to walk away.
Yep. Annual screening saves lives. Help finish the fight against breast cancer by visiting NFL.com/pink to celebrate the NFL and American Cancer Society's first ever A Crucial Catch Day on October 25th.
And, you know, the mother, that was a great moment, very touching, and she took advantage of that horn. She pulled that thing for a long time. So it's a good little tradition they got going out here. I like it.
Wonderful to see her having that moment. Now Davis signs the cut to the right. And he's chopped up about the 13-yard line by Chris Cook. You mentioned that field goal came close to being blocked. Just watch. Abdullah, I believe, may have gotten a hand on it.
He did.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Aflac, official partner of the Heisman Trophy. And by the all-new Chrysler 200, America's import.
Quite a museum here at Levi Stadium. All the storied history of the 49ers documented here. Plus the home to the 5 Lombardi trophies and rings associated with each championship. And that's Charles on first down out to about the 19 and a gain of 6. And we remind you, our Thursday night football circuit now will head to the city of Houston. Indianapolis will take on the Texans. Each team will come into the game 3-2. Colts off a victory today against the Ravens. The Texans fell in overtime to the Dallas Cowboys, and we'll see you Thursday night on CBS and the NFL Network. And it will be close. 2nd and 4. pass thrown in the direction of Fasano. You're ready for a close game on a Thursday night, aren't you?
Listen, I'm not saying anything. I'm not doing any predictions. I'm just leaving it alone. So we'll be careful, but here's what we got coming. Andrew Luck again today, hot this year. J.J. Watt down in Dallas, boy, he was everywhere.
And these two teams have won the last 5 AFC South championships. It's gone to one of the two. It'll be a great scene, as it is right here, come Thursday night down in Houston.
San Francisco played man-to-man the last play and covered well.
After 3 for 3 on third down, the first drive, they've got another conversion to Hemingway right across the middle for about 5 in the first.
Well, but it's third in short range, Jim. If you're going to blitz, you got to get a little tighter to the receivers outside. Here comes the blitz. They're going to, Alex Smith sees it right away, and then the quick crosser underneath. It's easy for me to say you got to get tight on these blitzes, but most teams in the NFL, if it's 3rd, 5, and 6 yards, somewhere in that range, they're going to go just far enough to pick up the first down.
Yep, that picked up 7. And a new set of downs. Give it to Jenkins. Jenkins who had lined up in the backfield, and he's taken behind the line of a loss of 2. Knocked down by Will Hoyt. Access all of today's football action on the go. Download the award-winning CBS Sports app now for instant scores, breaking news, video, and more, all on your phone. There goes Jenkins to the sideline. Again, he came into the league out of Illinois as the 49ers first-round pick in 2012 and was quickly traded away to Kansas City. And he steps up today in place of Donnie Avery, who's going to be out for a few weeks. 2nd and 12, setting up a screen, and Charles was not quite ready for it. Still trying to regain his balance. Smith going against the team that took him #1 overall in the draft, and look at the history of this. Bledsoe, he lost in his return matchup. Vick, he lost. Carson Palmer, when he came back to take on Cincinnati as a member of the Raiders, on the short end. Same thing goes for Peyton. Trying to break that trend today is Alex Smith, who has hit 7 of his first 11, including a touchdown pass. Pocket sealed. Now looking to take off. Instead, he'll make sure he stays behind the line and completes it to Anthony Sherman right at the first down marker.
Alex Smith so good of getting out of the pocket. That time, anytime you see the Chiefs go up and shift and put both guys outside and double flank, they're going to chip pass rushers so they can give Alex Smith a little extra time. If he stood in there, I think the wide receiver was open, but his movement, finding the guy down the field, excellent job by him.
And he got hit after he threw it, Phil. Ahmad Brooks got a pretty good shot on him.
Well, Ahmad Brooks, fast, big, strong, hard to run anywhere he lines up. Run against him, and just look at him. If he hit you, Jim, you think it would hurt a little?
I would think.
Yeah, I would think so too. Yeah, it would make me.
I don't want to find out.
I don't either.
First down.
Let's look at it real quick, Jim, what they did. First off, they bring these guys to give Alex Smith extra time. Watch the receiver up top, and then watch the quarterback get outside the pocket, Alex Smith. Oh, the receiver outside, nice route, turns him around, but it's too late. Boy, what a job of getting rid of the football on the run by Alex Smith. What a start by him.
Ooh, pile driven. But back on his feet with a new set of downs.
He's so relaxed, so confident. He's had success now over the last 4 or 5 years of his career. Andy Reid and him, we've already talked about it. They're both in sync with each other, and they keep doing a good job. Keep moving him around to stay away from these 49er players.
That is Charles for a first down carry of about 8, maybe 9. TV's #1 comedy is Pure Genius. Join Emmy winner Jim Parsons and the rest of the gang on a new Big Bang Theory new night. That's tomorrow at 8, 7 Central. Only CBS.
All right, Jim, quiz time. You ready?
Yep.
I love to quiz you. Name me a better running back tandem in the NFL than Jamal Charles and Knile Davis.
It's hard to come up with anything better than that.
That's the answer. It's a trick question. To me, there is not one. You could say Darren Sproles, LaShawn McCoy in Philadelphia, but two different styles. These guys can do it all.
And there's Charles. Again, with the sprint across the 50 to the 47 and a gain of 7. And it's been a really rough start to the season for LaShawn McCoy.
It has. Well, their offensive line's beat up. Show me a running back that's struggling a little bit, and I'll show you right away an offensive line that's not doing well. But how quick was Charles that time? Up inside, a wiggle to the right, wiggles to the left, and picks up a first down.
You're trying to make a case for Philadelphia as maybe the second best duo, but last week on the ground against this 49er defense on this field, 12 carries total by the Eagles for 22 yards. That's all they had.
Yeah, they got beat up bad on the offensive line.
And the Chiefs have already well exceeded that figure in the first quarter. That's Knile Davis for 4 more.
Knile Davis played at Arkansas, SEC leading rusher as a junior. And then, the team had turnover. Bobby Petrino left. Everybody kind of forgot about him and ran a 4.3 at the NFL Combine. We can see that speed when you watch him on the field.
And that's going to do it for the quarter. A quarter in which Kansas City had the football for 11 minutes. 7-3 Chiefs after 1. We'll return to Santa Clara. After these messages, you're watching the NFL on CBS. We saw the Chiefs week 2 at Denver, and they had this same kind of thing going with long possessions, and they very nearly pulled one off at the end and had a chance to go in and tie it on the last play of the game. Fell short to drop to 0-2, and all these injuries, you think this might be a lost season.
It's unbelievable.
Look at the way they've recovered. 2 straight wins.
Yeah, and Jim, they've been so impressive. Even that day in Denver, they played well, controlled the ball. 5 defensive starters are out for the Kansas City Chiefs. Their defense is playing well, and the offense just controlling the game.
Jim Nantz, Bill Sims, Tracy Wolfson back here in Santa Clara, and we start the second quarter with a 2nd and 7 and a pass to Hemingway, who's got running room to the 28. And Hemingway now with a 4th catch already in this game.
Well, he just mesmerized everybody. They put everybody to the left over here to the left side. Nobody in the middle of the field. Everybody chasing 3 receivers down the field. Look at that. Look at all the defenders, and then you got somebody underneath trying to chase them. The formations, so important on how plays work in the NFL, and the Kansas City Chiefs, like the 49ers, it's a different look every play.
Hemingway's matched his season total in catches in 1 quarter and 1 play with 4. And that is a good grab as Jenkins had to reach out for it. And it's good for 3.
A heck of a throw, too. He knew where to throw it outside. So
let's get a report down on the sidelines from Tracy.
Well, thanks, Jim. It is October, but it sure doesn't feel that way. It is right now in the low 90s. The average temperature here is usually around 66. If this was played at Candlestick Park right now, it would be about 10 degrees cooler with some wind. There is expected some breeze, but no shade, so keep an eye on the Kansas City bench, which will be in sunlight this whole entire game, guys.
Wow. And here is 2nd and 7, and a pickup for Charles of about 2. We're 38 miles south of the stick in Santa Clara, and about 5 miles from downtown San Jose.
See, if I was doing Tracy's job, I'd be like a farm animal. You know what that means? I'd be finding shade somewhere.
Yeah.
Not be standing in that sun. Today, 85. It feels warmer than that down on the field.
And as we said, the warmest home game in 11 years. Now 3rd and 5. And the Chiefs haven't missed on 3rd down so far in this game. They're 5 for 5 with 4 different receivers picking up the first, and a timeout called by Kansas City. Coming out of a Kansas City timeout, they face 3rd and 5 at the 49ers 24. They've got tight ends in the game, and they stack the left side, including Kelsey. That's Pisano, and he is hit right away by Antoine Bethea to stop him for no gain. and force the Chiefs to try a field goal.
Tight coverage and the blitz, well disguised by the 49er defense. Vic Fangio was saying, you know, hey, you can't let the quarterback have all day to throw the football, and that's why you blitz. And when you do it, what do you need behind it? Good tackling.
So Cairo Santos, the undrafted free agent out of Tulane, took over the kicking chores for Ryan Suckup, who's now with Tennessee. He's got a 42-yard attempt coming up. It's 4 out of 6 on the season. And that kick is good. Just inside the right upright. So first series of the game leads to 7. Second series, drive down the field and add 3 more. So Alex Smith is back up. Daniel, Chase Daniel, and
looking at that tablet, getting the glare of the sun off so they can see how the 49ers lined up on the defensive side.
Kickoff to Ellington. Bruce Ellington. Runs right into a wall at about the 18. Well, these two teams, there's some common themes here. High-profile coaches being one of them. Andy Reid, who had so many trips to the NFC Championship game, his time with the Eagles. Of course, Jim's done it 3 straight years here at San Francisco. The dual threat quarterbacks who know each other so well. The backs who can get it done. And the stout defenses. No touchdowns allowed by that defense last week, but Philadelphia found 3 ways to score in the return game. That's Frank Gore for about 4. You don't win the game. You're Philadelphia last week. You have a blocked punt and recovery for a touchdown, a punt return touchdown. Then you have an interception return, the first pick 6 of Kaepernick's career, and still Jim Harbaugh's team found a way to win.
How many teams have done that? Just a couple, right?
Just 2.
Yeah, 2. There you go.
Overcoming a triple like that.
A triple, yes.
Out of like 78 times in league history.
Good job that time. Daniel Kilgore blocking against Dontari Poe. Big matchup to watch.
2nd and 6. Kaepernick. No receiver in the area. Well, once they made the decision that Super Bowl season after Smith got concussed, Kaepernick took over and Smith never got his job back, and then again traded after that Super Bowl season, NFC Championship season. Here are the tail of the tape, if you will, between the two. And when you talk to Kaepernick, he has a lot of fine things to say. They both do about one another, but he credits Smith for really helping his development. We're on 3rd and 6. Now he's open, and he is found as Brandon Lloyd.
Brandon Lloyd, really a very good double move wide receiver. Looks like he's got the catch. Right knee hits in bounds.
I'm not sure about this one. 39 yards.
What are you not sure about? Does he hold on to the ball?
Let's see.
He's in. His knee hits the ground. But we'll find out.
See if Andy Reid.
Really good job. What a job by the running back picking up the blitz. They were ready for it. They had the perfect route called. And to a guy that can do it, Brandon Lloyd.
It happened right in front of Reid, so he doesn't challenge. He had the close-up view. And Kaepernick throws it out of bounds. That 39-yard play was the longest reception this year by a San Francisco wide receiver.
Well, that's what they need. They need downfield threats. It used to be, you know, it's Vernon Davis, the tight end, but these wide receivers, I think they have some chances when you look at what they can do. Stevie Johnson can make those kind of moves. Brandon Lloyd can do it. We saw Brandon Lloyd 2 years ago, Jim, up in New England, get open many times with double moves down the field for Tom Brady.
He caught 70-some-odd balls last time he played. He set out all of last year. Here's the throw to Ellington. And he's shoved out of bounds after a short pickup. Ellington taken in the 4th round out of South Carolina. Tomorrow you can see why critics are calling the new hit drama Scorpion brainy fun. Scorpion tomorrow at 9, 8 Central After the Big Bang Theory, only CBS.
Kansas City defense, 5 starters not in there for what they went to training camp start of the year, but they play fast. They're very confident in what they're doing. Bob Sutton, the defensive coordinator, second year around with these guys. They know what to do, and they're, as we have watched the last couple weeks, very aggressive trying to get it done.
3rd and 9. Comes the blitz. Kaepernick almost walked right into a blitzer, and he throws it away. It was Chris Owens who was right up against the quarterback, forcing the throw away.
Yeah, Jim, it's just a really clever blitz. It's going to be 4 guys from the top that blitz. So you don't expect that as an offense. 4 guys or 3, 1 from the backside. Kaepernick is fooled. Nobody is open right away. And don't forget, Bob Sutton learned a lot of these blitzes from where? The New York Jets and a guy named Rex Ryan.
I'm going to try a 55-yard field goal here. Phil Dawson, his career long is 56. Dawson with a flag out, drills it, but we'll check the flag. It was 4th and 9.
So you can try these long field goals maybe here where you wouldn't have tried that at Candlestick.
That's right. All the swirling winds you had to deal with it.
The wind,
stick.
the turf was different, not as easy to kick off of. If it's a 5-yard penalty, San Francisco will decline. It must not, well, I'll just wait.
Walt Coleman is going to give Coach Harbaugh some options. If it stands, Dawson will have made a 6th straight attempt from 50 plus.
Illegal formation on the defense. 7 men on one side of the ball. That penalty is declined. Field goal is good.
Right you are, Phil. They'll take the points. 55-yard field goal by Phil Dawson. And it's 10-6 Kansas City.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. T-Mobile. And by Chili's, where fresh is happening now.
And we're back on this warm day.
Yeah, look at it. You're in Candlestick. You would have prayed for a day like this. You come down here and everybody's got umbrellas out, shade themselves. People have actually gone up underneath to get out of the sun for a few minutes.
This is the site, the stadium of Super Bowl 50 on February the 7th, 2016.
That's right.
On CBS,
Yes.
about 16 months out.
Good start to this game, though, on both sides. A lot of good stuff. Hard hitting.
And
A lot of well-executed plays.
Kick's going to be returned by Davis. Now to the 31, 33-yard return. Well, 49ers and Chiefs back in 1994. Joe Montana with Kansas City facing Steve Young and the 49ers. Young's second quarter touchdown pass to Brent Jones up the 49ers to the halftime lead, but Montana found Keith Cash for the go-ahead score in the third. The Chiefs hung on to win it 24-17. But the 49ers went on that season to win the Super Bowl. That was their 5th world championship. Play action on first down for Alex Smith, and with a player about to bring him down, it was an incompletion. Lynch was the one who forced the quick pass. How about this? 5 different quarterbacks have made the transition from San Francisco to Kansas City, starting with Steve DeBerg, then Joe, Steve Bono,
Right.
Elvis Gerbach.
You know why, right? Except for Steve DeBerg, because the offenses were similar.
There you go.
So it made sense. You know, let the 49ers back then train them, and then Kansas City said, give us your backup. We'll make him our guy.
2nd and 10, Jamal Charles. Early contact And a gain of 1. We go back to a update in New York.
Peyton Manning again.
He does it again, this time 31 yards to Demaryius Thomas. Inside slant, great straight arm right there, goes in for the touchdown. 14-6 Broncos. Peyton Manning's 501st TD pass of his career.
Back to Jim Nance.
All right, thank you guys. So Peyton with a couple of touchdown passes in that one. Taking on the undefeated Arizona Cardinals. 3rd and 9 for the Chiefs. And that's Bo with a first down at the 50.
What a good route, good protection. They do a couple things. They got extra protection on the left side, and Dwayne Bowe, look, when you play for Kansas City, you're not going to catch 100 footballs in a season because they got some good tight ends. They got 2 of the best running backs we talked about. But Dwayne Bowe in situations like this has really shown this year he can come through for you. Powerful, gets down the field. Big first down for Kansas City.
And they're 6 out of 7 on 3rd down. Smith has hit 6 different targets with Bowe getting his first catch. And Charles cuts to the left and takes 2 49ers, including Culliver, to bring him down near another first down.
Well, you talked that last play, 2 tight ends. They love it, this Kansas City offense. What's it do? It evens out a defense. They have no clues where you're going to run. The tight ends on Kansas City, they all can block well. They're good receivers. Line them up together. Good short yardage catches. And then how about that? 3 tight ends. Throw the screen outside so you have 2 good lead blockers. Really well designed.
2nd and about a foot, so they're going to try to go for the big play to Bowe. Oh, and he almost made the catch over the shoulder.
If Alex Smith had a little more time to give Bowe just an extra second, he's going to hit him down the field, and it's going to be a touchdown. But it looked like quick pressure, and it's inside that time. It was Gerard Eddy that got there. He's by the corner, Cox. But the football, as he turns, there it is, not able to make the catch. It's not about sacking the quarterback, Jim. It's about making him throw it before he's ready.
And that's what Gerard Eddy did. Again, 3rd and a foot to go. Gonna throw for it again. And the ball is incomplete. That was Kelsey unable to get hold of it. And Willis made the contact to make sure the ball was jarred loose.
They're trying to get the score. Last play in this play, Jamal Charles, watch him down the right sideline. Needed more time. He's going to have a chance to go all the way, and that's why Andy Reid called those 2 potential scoring plays, because it was 2nd and a foot. All along, he knew if they didn't work, he would go for it here on 4th down. 2 plays that could have scored. The pass rush ruined them both.
Davis is the running back. And this is going to be against the Chiefs.
Ryan Harris.
And this will bring out the punting
68
unit.
offense. 5-yard
And this is
penalty.
our first punt of the game.
4th down.
That was big. It really was. 3 chances. Were they going to throw it again?
It looked like it, didn't it?
Ryan Harris is there. They were going to throw it. But, you know, I like the whole concept. It was great. They were going for the score to really get this thing rolling on the offensive side. But the 49ers, Jim, they haven't pressured the quarterback consistently all year, but they came through back-to-back plays to maybe stop quarterbacks.
Colquitt,
Or
Dustin
touchdowns, I should say.
Dustin Colquitt has not had a touchback this season. He's had 10 punts downed inside the 20. Fair catch made by Ellington.
Oh, that's great.
Getting ready back in New York to bring you the Verizon halftime report. Go through all the scores and highlights and a preview of our Thursday night football matchup, Indianapolis and Houston. It's coming up on the Verizon halftime report.
Well, they're looking at their phones. Look at the games. Watch us. See what we're or hear what we're saying. You know, I felt bad for Boomer today. Did you see the pregame show? Rich Gannon just, well, he was mean to him. That's all I can say.
Taking over your role.
Well, I'm not mean to Boomer. I like Boomer.
I heard you on the inside the NFL. There's Carlos Hyde. And the rookie from Ohio State taken in the second round. Got a 4-yard gain.
Well, let's look at Colin Kaepernick. Looking right. Shuffles in the pocket to the left. Finds the next receiver. That's all you hear out here. Hey, he can't find the second receiver. I wonder where you hear that. Frank Gore, good blitz pickup. Nice soft throw down the field for a big gain. You know, everybody, yeah, there's some shortcomings with Colin Kaepernick. He's young, learning to play the position a different way. Let's see, in and out of the pocket, but he's big, strong, can run, can anywhere in the field. I'd take him in a heartbeat as my quarterback.
2nd and 6. That pass is thrown out of bounds.
Nowhere to throw it. If you want to boo somebody, you got to boo the receivers. Watch as they go down the sideline, trying to get that covered. He turns to the left side. Nobody's open. Let's see where he throws it. Is there anybody open? John Smith all over it. Kansas City, that's what they do. They want to make the opposing quarterback make good throws that get completions. No soft zones, no easy throws usually for the opposing quarterback.
Now a 3rd and 6. Kaepernick, he's going to tuck it under. And he's going to be about a yard shy of picking up that first down. His old teammate at Nevada, Mauga.
Mauga, yeah, but I think they gave him the first down,
Oh,
Jim.
I can't believe the spot.
Yeah, Josh Mauga, he is really playing well at linebacker.
Well, he reached out, but it looked like he'd perhaps already been well out of bounds when he reached the ball out.
Yeah, it happened so fast, I really couldn't see it there. But if I thought there was any question in it, I would challenge this. Oh, he's definitely behind the line. I would challenge if Andy Reid. He's trying to get it.
He just threw it right at his feet. It's right at the officials. The linesman never even looked down. He was almost stepping on it.
Well, Andy was too accurate. You got to throw it out in the middle of the field. Well, your original call could be right.
Kansas City is challenging the ruling on the field of a first down.
Andy Reid wants them to take another look at where they spotted the football.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. And by USAA, proudly serving the financial needs of current and former military members and their families.
We're back. We're going to bring in Mike Carey right away, our rules expert back in our studio in New York. Mike, you saw that play.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. First down.
They're not going to change it. Mike Carey, how did you see it?
Well, what you're looking for is where does the ball cross the line of the sideline? Because he went out airborne. The left foot was not on the line, so you don't freeze the ball at that point. And he moved the ball across his body. It looks to me, though, that it's right between the 16 and the 17 as he crossed the sideline. The officials gave him everything up the field, but he wasn't running up the field, so it should be where the ball crossed the sideline short of the 17-yard line.
Very well said, Mike. Tough call for the Kansas City Chiefs, and a good one, of course, for the 49ers.
Yeah, Kansas City, of course, would have been getting the football on a punt and would have probably started somewhere around midfield. Instead, first down for San Francisco with Gore. Turn to the corner and finding a little bit of real estate on the short side.
Yeah, that was awesome. You know, not many teams in this league could just line up and just run outside like that. But when you have the offensive line big and strong, how about Jonathan Martin and Bruce Miller, 49, a good blocking fullback. They can get out there and get it done. Got the tight ends. Watch 49 as he leads it, gets around the circle. Alex Boone, the right guard, pulls. 49ers, very diverse running game. They do everything.
They picked up 6. This one picks up nothing for Gore. And we're going to send it back to James Brown, Boomer Esiason for an update in New York.
San Diego increasing its lead.
Second touchdown pass of the day for Phillip Rivers against the blitz. Finds Antonio Gates for his second touchdown reception of the day. Chargers lead 14-0.
Back to Jim, Phil, and Tracy.
So Antonio Gates, he's already had a 3-touchdown game this year. He's got a couple today. And the Chargers jump out early on the Jets. 3rd and 5. Inside of 5 minutes to go first half. Kaepernick to Bolden to the 50.
Great pass protection that time. What a pocket for Colin Kaepernick. And there you saw it. Give him time and let him have some separation from the offensive lineman, and he can throw strikes. Boy, he stays right in there, gets his shoulder down the field, and that extra time, Anquan Bolden really played a decoy, took his time, and then exploded across the field, and that's why he was wide open.
Pickup of 27. Over to Miller. And Bruce Miller near another first down, his second catch of the season.
Yeah, you know they like him. They're yelling Bruce. So he plays a great role out here. Fullback, plays some tight end, really kind of replacing Delaney Walker, what he did a couple years ago for this 49er offense.
Of course, he was a defensive player at Central Florida, 2-time Conference USA Defender of the Year. That picked up 11 where they mark it, so it's another first down. And that's Hyde bouncing around and not getting away from that Chiefs defensive front, including Alan Bailey.
Yeah, Alan Bailey, boy, there he, what did Andy Reid say to us a couple weeks ago? He just kind of looks and goes, hey, how about that Alan Bailey? And, you know, because they're so, Mike DeVito, their best run stopper, goes down to injury right away in the year, and Alan Bailey has been terrific. And, of course, Kevin Vickerson, a pickup who got released by the Broncos, has done a good job, too.
You know, it's a defense that's lost DeVito for the season, Derek Johnson for the season. They had season-ending injuries just 6 plays apart.
Yeah, Joe Mays, the linebacker, too,
and
was lost.
And Eric Berry's been out for better part of 4 weeks. This time, Carrier lost the ball but fell on it. The backup tight end got a flag out. All right, I guess they picked up the flag. No flag, so Carrier has the catch. And a gain of 10.
Long drives, hot weather, tires out of defense quick.
First down, Kaepernick. Takes off, picks up a couple, maybe 3. And it'll bring us to the 2-minute warning. Kansas City leads at 10-6. 2 minutes to go in the first half. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Coming up, the Verizon Halftime Report, led by JB and all the crew. That's the Verizon Halftime Report, scores and highlights. What caught your attention from the early games today?
Oh, shoot, many things. Let's see. Well, I think the big one, Buffalo coming back and beating Detroit there. That was one. And the Dallas Cowboys and the Houston Texans, that was physical. It was old-style football. A lot of fun to watch.
Cowboys won it in overtime. Here's Frank Gore. Look at Gore going.
That'll fire up an offensive line, and everybody just, nothing like being physical. They all kind of moved to the left. Upati, 77, and they just pushed a pile. Alex Boone, everybody involved. And you come back in the huddle and go, yeah, we whooped them.
Yeah.
You say it a little differently than that, but, you know, I clean it up for the audience.
They're about a yard shy of a first. This drive that started back at the 49ers 7-yard line. They had 2 conversions inside of their own 25, including the one that was reviewed but not overturned. 3rd and 1. Gore, and he fights for it. He's got it. Needed one, picked up 2.
This running game that the 49ers have, Greg Roman, the offensive coordinator, he loves to create angles. In other words, give you a chance to really push your guy out of the way to create those running lanes. And he told me yesterday he copied an old coach of mine, Ron Earhart, with the Giants, the Jets, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. We had tremendous success running the football this way. Not so much zone, more about man-to-man blocking. Get those holes so the running back can get through there.
With 40 seconds to go in the second quarter. First down. Kaepernick over the head of Derek Carrier.
Foul, roughing the passer, number 97 defense, hit him in the head, half the distance to the goal, first down.
Well, if you touch the helmet of the quarterback, they are going to call it. Time was more to touch. That did have force to it. That was Alan Bailey.
After the penalty, first and goal.
Puts the football at the 9.
Try to reach up to knock the pass down. You hit that helmet of the quarterback, they're going to throw that flag.
49ers have all 3 timeouts. Only 3 touchdowns the last 9 times in the red zone. First and goal on this occasion. And wide open, Stevie Johnson for the touchdown. Completing a 93-yard drive.
This is why you have him to the single receiver side, especially inside the 20. Stevie Johnson, very quick and big, and just swats Marcus Cooper out of the way, makes a little move outside. Cooper was fooled. But when you get inside the 20, especially inside the 10, Jim, you need a big physical guy that you can count on to throw the football to, and Stevie Johnson's that guy.
Kaepernick's 7th touchdown pass of the season, and the 2nd straight week he's had a touchdown connection with Stevie Johnson. That's the longest touchdown drive by yardage for the 49ers since 2012. Kaepernick to the San Francisco area. Stevie Johnson coming back home after 6 years in Buffalo. Tonight on 60 Minutes from the command center, the FBI director talks about the most dangerous threats to America and his plans to stop them. That's tonight only CBS. Kaepernick now with a touchdown pass in 15 consecutive regular season games, or regular and post. And that's the longest streak by a quarterback for the 49ers since Jeff Garcia.
Well, let's think about this real quick. The spot kept that drive going. So I'm not saying it was fortunate, but they didn't overrule it when Andy Reid challenged it. And how about that sequence now, the Kansas City Chiefs, 2nd and a foot, getting nothing out of it.
2nd and a foot, 3rd and a foot, going for it, but having a penalty on 4th and a foot. Here's now Davis. And able to advance it to about the 23.
You got all the receivers to the left except Stevie Johnson to the right. And a single up, all that space, a little fake inside, uses that outside arm, and that shows you how strong he is. He hit Cooper with his right arm and moved him 2 yards, which was legal, and then wide open for the touchdown. And quarterbacks, you know, Jim, you love plays like that, where you can just go up there and go, oh, I got one guy over here with all that space, and I'll just zero in on him and see if he can win the battle.
With 22 seconds, 2 timeouts, Chiefs running. The ball comes out, but Charles falls right on it.
Well, I was just getting ready to say it's over, kneel on the football, but when you got Jamal Charles, you give it a chance sometimes.
And let's see what this flag is all about.
Saw a play similar to this. The Ole Miss in Alabama. Ole Miss ran a play at the end of the first half. The football was knocked down. Alabama runs it back for a touchdown. Could have been the deciding play.
Of course, Ole Miss, what a scene that was down in Oxford.
Came back, it was great, but
in fact, one of the great days of college football in years yesterday.
It was.
After the play was over, personal foul, number 25, offense. 2nd down.
Called on Charles. Now you'll get your kneel down.
Well, college football yesterday, we had a little break in the afternoon. There was 4 games on. It's hard to watch 4, but I accomplished it. They were all good, especially down in the SEC. Ole Miss, That game with Alabama was great. Oklahoma, TCU. Let's see who else. Notre Dame,
Mississippi
Stanford,
State,
and
Texas
Mississippi
A&M.
State. Yeah, and Texas A&M. How about all that?
And then last night, Arizona State wins on a Hail Mary at USC on the last play of the game. Cal was able to outlast Washington State 60-59 in a track meet, and UCLA fell to Utah. Even though the Bruins had 2 field goal attempts at the end of the game to win it.
9 seconds to go.
Charles. And that should do it for the first half. Good first half of action here. 49ers take the lead on a 93-yard touchdown drive late in the half. 13-10 49ers over the Chiefs at the intermission. And San Francisco will receive the second half kickoff. We'll be back with the Verizon halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. San Francisco leads it 13-10, each quarterback throwing a touchdown in that first half. What's been the difference at this point?
Well, I think the sequence we talked about right before halftime, that the Kansas City Chiefs had 2nd and a foot. They go for it on 2nd down, 3rd down, then they make a mistake on 4th down with the illegal procedure. That was big, and of course, the challenge by Andy Reid that he lost. The 49ers took advantage of a situation and drove on down and scored.
This is the one that came down to where should the ball have been spotted. And Kansas City challenged. They gave him on the field the first down. Andy Reid and others thought perhaps that might be about a half yard short of that. But again, replays are reviewed out of New York.
That's right.
And it comes back. The play will stand as called.
I can understand why they did that. And let's don't forget now, the 49ers were still 83 yards away from a touchdown. So you got a lot of chances there to stop them, and the Kansas City defense could not.
Now, I know the fans like to drag out halftime as long as they can. Alas, you see some empty seats, but I got a full second quarter because they are bathing in sunshine over there on a day that the heat index has to have this thing close to 100. So they're going to take a little extra time.
I don't blame them. Good first half, though. Really well played.
Santos with the kickoff to Ellington. Runs it out to about the 22. Let's get a report from Tracy Wolfson.
Well, thanks a lot, Jim. No surprise, Andy Reid frustrated after that drive going into half. He had a lot of words for the defense going in, and you can bet he spoke with them at length during halftime. I also had a chance to speak with Jim Harbaugh coming out, and he said they need to continue to attack on offense, and they need to stop them earlier in drives on defense. Jim?
Where's Andy Reid? He's no stranger to the Harbaugh family. John Harbaugh was an assistant on Andy's staff at Philadelphia for 9 years. And the coach now, of course, of the Ravens, and almost an interception. Jumping in front was Sean Smith in front of Michael Crabtree. And here is John Harbaugh, who was an assistant from 98 through 07 with the Eagles. He was a special teams coach. He was a defensive back coach, and then Steve Bisciotti and the Ravens said that guy needs to lead our franchise.
Very good. Yep, done a good job. This 49er offensive line had a very first half. Daniel Kilgore holding out Dontari Poe.
2nd and 10, and Gore for about 8 running behind Kilgore. Frank Gore had 37 yards in that first half on 7 attempts. And you see Kaepernick's numbers, 122 through the air, and he had the touchdown pass to Stevie Johnson.
Yeah, they got to be happy. I think Jim Harbaugh said it right to Tracy Wolfson. Stay aggressive, keep mixing it up, and don't always put it on the shoulders of this quarterback. And today they've done that.
Here on 3rd down, Kaepernick. He is stopped short. As he gains 1 on the scramble.
You know, Jim, I said to Colin Kaepernick, what did I say? You know, you take a lot of hits. You know, all the running and the protection hasn't been that good. And what was his comment?
He says he prepares himself for that.
He does. I'm a football player.
Yep.
Right. And look, Jim Harbaugh calls him the bionic man. And he is. He trains is probably as hard or harder than any quarterback in the NFL, keeping his body in tip-top shape because he can play that way. So he can play that way.
Andy Lee to punt for the first time today. Had one run back against him last week and another one blocked. He's recovered for a touchdown, and look out as Frankie Hammond. No, man, that's DeAnthony Thomas. DeAnthony Thomas showing a burst of speed there, and the rookie from Oregon with a 28-yard run back after a 56-yard punt. And there off the cart cam, you can see a little relief for the folks on the 49ers side of the field, the 49ers sideline that is, and here's the first play of the second half for the Chiefs. And it's Charles getting past the line of scrimmage and into the secondary. He finally tumbles at the 32, but they able to finish him up, but not until he gains 26.
Yeah, just so good. Jamal Charles, the speed, you're worried to the outside, and right there when he cuts back in, that's what amazes me about him. He's so fast, and when he makes cuts, he does not lose speed. Everybody over pursues, cuts inside Ahmad Brooks. The running game in the NFL, it's kind of made a rebirth this year, Jim, and we're seeing it just about every single week.
That's the longest play of the game for the Chiefs. Whoa, almost a reel-in catch by Dwayne Bowe, but it's incomplete.
Yeah, it was, but Parrish Cox on that side read the three-step drop and really broke hard. Now the Chiefs have mixed it up well, moving the quarterback a little today, some quick throws in the shotgun, getting rid of the football fast, and I'm sure San Francisco went in at halftime and said, hey, let's take away some of these short throws.
Smith comes back to Bowe for another first down.
That's a different way of doing it. A little play action fake. When you make that little fake, the defensive back is going to stay in retreat. Then it's too late when he sees Alex Smith rear up to throw it.
This was good for 15. The wideouts for the Chiefs have not scored a touchdown this season and have the fewest receiving yards of any wide receiver group in the league.
Well, they got good tight ends. We talked about this earlier, too. Top flight running backs. Look who's in the backfield.
Yeah, DeAnthony Thomas, and they set it up for him. Got the ball in his hands. He just had the big punt return, and now he's tiptoeing down the sideline. And is he in? Waiting for a signal.
They gave the touchdown signal. That's, you know, when you saw him return the punch, you go, boy, they need to do something on the offensive side for him. They switched the backs. Rodney Hudson, the center, gets down the field, makes the block.
How about that effort to stay in bounds?
Oh, tremendous.
He did not step out. He came close, but
yeah, I was watching.
What he's doing.
Easy to see with those pink shoes, too. But look how far the center, how about that for a center? Rodney Hudson being all the way down the field, got a block that allowed the runner to get those extra yards for the TD.
DeAnthony Thomas with his first trip to the end zone in the NFL.
Clever play.
Extra point, and the Chiefs are back on top at 17-13.
NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Without a heart, it's just a machine. Microsoft Surface, the official tablet of the NFL. And by Bud Light, who reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly.
Quite a stretch for DeAnthony Thomas. He took the punt 28 yards to near midfield. Took him just 4 plays to find the end zone with Thomas with the touchdown catch and run out. Of course, he was inactive the first 4 games of the season out with a hamstring. Making his presence felt the first time he actually competes is Ellington. races out of bounds. He came close to going out of bounds. That's why I paused for a moment. But at the 3, he was in play by about an inch. Make it the 2. And there, look at that mark.
It's like one of your divots.
Setting up a screen for Gore. And Gore is down after a pickup of just a yard. NFL Now. Watch a free preview of the ultimate video highlight experience on your phone, tablet, or desktop. Don't miss a big play from your fantasy team or favorite players. You start watching free, NFL.com/now. Gore caught one pass last week against the Eagles, took it 55 yards for the touchdown, the longest reception of his career. His last catch was good for only a yard. 2nd and 9. Oh, there's another one thrown in there with heat to Bolton.
Beautiful throw. The safety Abdullah across the middle. Kaepernick anticipates the throw, lets Anquan Bolden get past those linebackers and just rifles it in there. And that's the guy you can throw it hard to. Anquan Bolden. We've done a lot of games in Baltimore, whatever here, Jim. You can count on your hand in his career. It seems like the number of times he's dropped the pass.
First down. Good protection, and Crabtree has his first catch and takes it to the Chiefs side.
What's really a good job by San Francisco. They're just saying, well, if you're going to play man-to-man coverage, let's just keep some extra guys in and block. And look how much time Kaepernick gets because it's man-to-man outside. It gives Crabtree so much time, little double move. Call that a squirrel route. Out, up, and back. Almost impossible to cover, especially when the quarterback has that kind of time.
That play went for 16. They go back to Gore, left side, and room. And he wants that contact with Smith as they butt heads. Pickup of nearly 9.
You know, Jim, let's watch the left guard, Mike Upati. He's incredibly big. Watch him pull out and seal the outside. And the 49ers even talk about this. When he has a good game, because they ask him to do a lot, to pull, to hold his to the right, to the left. He leads a lot of running plays. When he plays well, the running game works, and his team is tough to stop. He was awesome against the Eagles last week.
Former first-round pick out of Idaho, Upati. One of the very best, and here's Gore. Up the middle and down to the 20. Running behind Kilgore and Miller for 13 more.
Well, if they worried about Kilgore, the center, in his matchup, they don't have to worry anymore. He gets it. The block again, Upati just clears it out. Frank Gore didn't know what to do. There were so many lanes to run to. Do I cut? Do I go straight ahead, right or left?
It's a little breather now. Hyde replaces him. Gore with 31 yards in the quarter. And a flag first, going against the Niners.
Full start, number 77, offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That's the first offensive penalty of the day against San Francisco.
Yeah, everything. Their operations today have been so clean. Jim Harbaugh, no delay of games, no extra timeouts. You know, they get the plays from Greg Roman up top. Him and Jim Harbaugh kind of, I think, you know, I don't even know. They switch the play calling. They all get together. Jim Harbaugh gives it to Colin Kaepernick and not checking too much of the line of scrimmage. So they're speeding the process up. And I think it's really helping this offense. Little check this time.
First down, Kaepernick in trouble. Spins away and falls at the 27. It's Houston who takes him down.
Well, you said it earlier. He's having a great year. Justin Houston 50. Jonathan Martin, good step up by Colin Kaepernick. Because the pocket was pushed back a little, he was not able to escape. Justin Houston playing so well. Caused a fumble by Tom Brady last week. Fumbled, recovered it, got it all. Sack, fumble, and recovery.
That play lost a couple. 2nd and 17.
Up to that point, Jonathan Martin has played well too, protecting Colin Kaepernick.
Kaepernick still has it, but nothing is there, and he cuts his losses. And again, it's Houston who will get credit for the tackle, even though Kaepernick just fell to the ground on another loss of 2.
Oh, here we go. We got Greg Roman and Jim Harbaugh talking about what play they're going to call. And then Jim Harbaugh calls it into Colin Kaepernick, and it's already there. So it was quick. And it's been a problem, Jim, over the years, I think, with them. The play calls are long. They're wordy plays. They ask Colin Kaepernick to go up there, check off if you don't like what's going on. Bruce Ellington in the backfield.
And it's a 3rd and 19. And again, a 3rd straight play. Negative yardage for the 49ers, and it's Bailey who decks him at the 35, and this will force a longer field goal attempt.
Yeah, but it's 92 that gets in there first. Dontari Poe, oh my gosh. He got Alex Boone and he won the battle, hit him first, and it got Alex Boone off balance and allowed Bailey to get the sack.
So already with 155-yard make. This is going to be 52 yards. He's made his last 6 from 50 plus. Phil Dawson. Boy, does he make it look easy. A 55-yarder and now a 52-yard field goal by Phil Dawson. Chiefs lead it by a point after a 9-play drive. Result is a field goal for Phil Dawson. He's now made 7 straight from 50 plus, and his last 28 field goal attempts at home.
You're right. He does make it look easy.
And in through the back of the end zone.
NFL on CBS is sponsored by State Farm. Pump up your savings with a discount double check today. And by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV.
Alcatraz became a National Historic Landmark in 1986. The Rock. About a mile and a half off the shore of San Francisco. And meanwhile, the Kansas City Chiefs are visiting the 49ers for the first time since 2002, but man, have they had a good week in that city. Monday night, the big win over New England, and then the Royals win that playoff matchup to advance to the divisional round. They win the first 2 games over the Angels. Things are good in Kansas City these days.
They are. Pretty exciting to see.
And Charles has a gain of 5, as well as Monday night reclaiming the all-time loudest stadium record, and certified by the Guinness folks, breaking the mark that had been on loan for a while to the folks up in Seattle. It had belonged to Kansas City.
Right.
Seahawks broke it.
Well, it was a challenge issued by the Kansas City fans. They got it done. Now we'll see that next stadium that breaks that noise.
You know Seattle.
Oh, yeah. Well, New Orleans, inside that place, could get loudest place I ever played in.
2nd and 6. They got to get that team down in New Orleans to start playing better before they're going to set any noise records. Although they came from behind today to win in overtime over Tampa.
Good job, Jim. Good job that time by the defensive front of the San Francisco 49ers. Williams and, of course, Justin Smith. What a player. What did Jim Harbaugh say about Justin Smith? There's no expiration date on this guy.
I love it.
And it's
the expiration dates mean nothing.
Means nothing.
He was using the metaphor that his mother told him. His mother Jackie said, I don't believe in expiration dates. 3rd and 5. And that is caught, but he's going to be short by a half-yard. Charles.
Yeah, it all just happened so fast. It was pushed quickly back towards Alex Smith, and it didn't give Jamaal Charles enough time to really shake Eric Reed to get open. Heck of a catch, though. Be on alert for the 49er return team of a fake.
Just the second punt of the afternoon for Colquitt. Yard punt and a fair catch by Ellington.
When you look at those numbers, Jim, you'd say, hey, it looks like by just reading the stats that it's a close game.
Yeah.
It is a close game.
Yeah, one more play for Kansas City plus 1 point. Better than the 49ers at the moment. Identical time of possession. Outdoor. 2-yard gain. Got a doubleheader coming up next Saturday on CBS. The action kicks off with the best game from the best conference. Georgia takes on Missouri and continues with Auburn and Mississippi State. Auburn's second in the country. Mississippi State moves up to number 3.
How about that?
Actually shares third in the rankings
They're
with
both
Ole Miss.
third.
How about that?
It's unbelievable. You know, the SEC, now we got the 2 Mississippi teams that want to get in this big hunt, and
they're there.
They're there. That's right. Very impressive and not lucky in winning those games. In Mississippi State, they've always been big down there with Dan Mullen. Now they're big and fast.
Joe Staley has to
Boy, that's a big one. Left tackle.
Limp to the sideline.
Right at the bottom.
I don't know how that doesn't happen way more often.
Yeah. I hear you. There's so many big men falling everywhere. He is walking off, flexing that leg. So
they're going to move Alex Boone over to the left tackle, and Joe Looney will move up to right guard. Remember, they're without Anthony Davis, who is inactive today with a knee that's keeping him on the sidelines.
This actually happened again in the Philadelphia game, exactly like this. Joe Staley came out. They brought in Looney, and Boone went to left tackle. I think it only lasted, I'm not positive, for one play. Maybe a couple plays, but he came back in.
Please.
Second and 8. Kaepernick, Poe, and Bailey.
Boy, ever since I said the offensive line, what they're doing, it has changed big time. Dontari Poe pushing on the inside, gets out there, and then Bailey cleans it up. And the series before this, Kaepernick was sacked twice also. Had to move up in the pocket, causes a sack by Houston, and then Dontari Poe, oh my gosh, that's textbook what you do. Jolt him with your hands, swat him, go right, and cause the sack.
He's been sacked on his last 3 dropbacks. Meanwhile, Staley's back in after one play on the sideline. Was thrown in the area of Bolden.
Yeah, nothing
the
there.
49ers will punt.
It's funny, during commercial, you looked at me and you, what were your words? It's unbelievable what the Chiefs have done with this team. And it is kind of, you know, it's just the injuries, the way they played week 1, losing to Denver, and the rebound. No matter what happens in today's game, just to watch how this defense has played with all those injuries.
Well, it's a great credit to Andy Reid.
How he's held the team together. We saw him in week 2. He was pretty fired up, wasn't he, after that opening day loss?
Oh, they laid an egg at the opening day at Arrowhead to Tennessee. People thought it had the makings of a long season, but now it's promising the way they're playing. Here's the Anthony Thomas. And he's out of bounds at the 45. Good starting point coming up. 51-yard punt. Alex Smith. Look at the quarterbacks that are starters
Pretty
this
dang good
season,
class,
some
isn't it?
point this season, as far as the quarterbacks. But if you look right behind Smith, taking #1 overall, the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th overall picks are all out of the league. Rodgers slipped, if you remember, back to 24th in that first round of 05.
Well, it's worked out well. It was a hard Alex Smith. He finally got a good team when Jim Harbaugh came here. And now he's in another good spot and taking advantage of it, too.
Got it down by Aaron Lynch. The rookie from South Florida has made some plays today. Here's a little refresher course. This is the first 5 picks in that 05 draft.
3 running backs, Braylon Edwards.
May never see that again, huh? 3 running backs in the first 5.
Oh, no.
Never.
That day is gone. Defensive front for the San Francisco 49ers, finding a way to get pressure and making it tougher.
There's the pass to Kelsey, his 2nd catch. His first one went for a touchdown.
Really good job. Nice play action fake. Just freezes the defense enough and then fires it inside. This Kelsey, what a pair of hands. I watched him close against the New England Patriots. He does everything well. Runs, can block, catch the ball with ease, and you know you're good at catching the ball when you catch it and you keep running full speed, even when the football is not completely on target.
1st and 10. Pass thrown to Sherman, incomplete. Let's go down to Tracy.
Well, thanks, Jim. One of the things that Kelsey brings to this team is the energy. He missed all of last year recovering from the knee injury, and he vowed when he did return he would play every game with enthusiasm, the same way he did in college for Butch Jones. And he says Andy Reid encourages that. I had a chance to speak with him before the game. He said he had his dance plan, maybe a few dances. So if we see me in the end zone, wonder what he's going to bust out, guys.
Well, his older brother was also drafted by Andy Reid, his brother Jason at Philadelphia. And we've seen that energy already on the touchdown catch, and 2nd and 10 taken off. Smith will take the 5. Now, you had some research done on the Kelsey celebration dance today. He's had other ones.
Yeah, I got to tell you, they're pretty good as we look at them. Here's the Shmoney dance.
Okay.
And then today, I found out he did the Ric Flair Nature Boy. There you go. Oh, yeah. Shake it. Ric Flair, of course, a famous wrestler. I didn't know the dance, and our producer, Lance Barrow, knew that. And I said, my gosh, you watch wrestling too on TV?
He could be one.
Yeah, he could be one. That's right. I like to see him in one of those outfits.
Yeah.
That'll make you close your eyes.
3rd and 4. Looking, and incomplete. Trying to hit Harris, who was open.
Yeah, he's disgusted with himself, Alex Smith. Is it an easy throw? No, but he tried to, get over on top of the ball like he would be in the pocket. And when you do that, the football is going to go down low. I could see it right away.
How about this 4th and 4 coming up? And they're not going to go for it. They're not going to try a 54-yard field goal. We've seen Dawson kick 2 from over 50. They're going to bring out Colquitt, who's a specialist at pinning teams. He's already done it once today. What do you think of this call?
I like this move without question. Make them drive a long way. Don't get this team turned around emotionally.
He might have been on the line. And that's going to be the first touchback of the season that goes against Colquitt's record. And if it had been covered better by the unit, they would have had him down at the 1. Gafford had a play on it, but it's going to be net of only 16 yards.
See if the toes touch. They do.
Just tap it. Just swing
Thomas
it back
Gafford.
into play.
Yeah, and also coming across there was Philip Gaines. He was flying across the field and ran into the back judge. And he ran into him. He might have got there first, but he had a collision and wasn't able to get there before Philip Gaines did.
So the 49ers fortunate to come out to the 20. Takes on all challenges straight ahead and picks up 7.
How about that? Just line up and go straight. The 49ers have had success doing that. It's really, that's kind of their style. They want to do that, Jim. Why? Because it controls the game, the tempo, the speed. Of course, every team would like to run it right up the middle for 6 or 7 yards, but not many capable. This team is capable of doing that.
That's going to do it for the third quarter. We're going to head to the final 15 minutes with a 1-point game. Kansas City leads at 17-16. Back after this message and a word from your local station. Fourth quarter comparison this season, the Niners have not scored a touchdown in the final 15 this season, just a field goal. And Gore on the first play of the fourth quarter. He's got 2. They're going to mark him just short of the 30. Jim Nantz with Phil Simms, Tracy Wolfson, Lance Barrow, Mike Arnold, and all the crew on hand. And that defense for Kansas City with all the injuries, a couple of them season ending.
Some good names up there. Derek Johnson, Mike DeVito. I know people go, who's Mike DeVito? Just an awesome run stopper on the defensive side. So big names out, still playing well.
3rd and a foot.
Tom Holly. My gosh.
Boy, that was some stick on Gore. And it's not very often you see Gore go down with the first hit, but Tamba Hali. And that's for no gain. So 4th and less than a yard, and the 49ers will punt. They have not converted on a 3rd down attempt in this half. 0 for 4.
Well, you know, the big thing here too, Jim, of course, they're down by a point, field position. That, you know, getting that first down in drives is, it's amazing. Gives you confidence. You can call plays.
They make it, and they pick up the first. Craig Dahl.
Well, I had the wrong team doing a fake punt. Brad Seeley. Look, he's been a special teams coach for a long time. They're always ready. The thing that gets me, watch the snap. So soft and perfect. And even if you were ready for that fake punt, I don't think you could have stopped it. It just takes the courage to call it. And the head coach said, let's do it.
Greg Dahl runs right behind the long snapper, Kyle Nelson.
Well, it's Healy's. I'll tell you, somebody's even happier. That's the head coach.
Here's Ellington. He's shoved down out of bounds. Pick up a
Michael Johnson out there again.
Week 5 continues with Sunday Night Football tonight, 8:30 Eastern. Cincinnati and New England. Tune in tomorrow, Monday Night Football on ESPN with Seattle and the Redskins. Second and 9. Kaepernick falling back, just launches it in the direction of Bolden.
Yeah, see, that's a play that will upset maybe, you know, the coaches. There's nobody really putting pressure on the quarterback, but Colin Kaepernick takes off and runs out of the pocket. And once you do that and you make that move, Jim, that play, it destroys it. There's really nothing he can do with the football except throw it away. Coach Harbaugh was yelling he wants offsides against the defense.
Kaepernick 11 out of 20 today for 157 yards. He's been sacked 3 times. Got a 3rd and 9, and here comes the blitz. And look at the catch. Brandon Lloyd. Always one who has an acrobatic flair about him, and he pulls it down for 29.
The blitz was perfect by the Chiefs. 3 guys coming to the left. They got pressure. He can barely get it there, but Brandon Lloyd is so flexible. That's what he works on the most. We talked to him when he was up in New England. How about that catch? Up in the air, good hands. I don't know why more teams were not out looking to get this guy this year. 49ers lucky to have him.
Started his career here in 03 and bounced around the league. And now it's Gore. Trying to make that Hyde for 6 or 7.
In this league, you got to make the contested catches. And Brandon Lloyd doing that. That could be the difference in winning and losing.
Boy, in his career, we've seen many of them, too. In person, catches by Lloyd that you're not sure how many guys in the league could twist their body in that position to be able to make the grab.
Number one thing he told us, he works on his flexibility. It shows.
2nd and 3. And coming out of the hole is Gore for another first down inside the 20.
Right up the middle again. You know, we talked about it. Kilgore, Daniel Kilgore, the center. Watch the center. Oh, he gets Dontari Poe turned just enough where Frank Gore, my gosh, you talk about squeezing through a small hole. That was really well done. A veteran running back who knows. Hey, he's probably done it about 5,000 times in his life. Excellent run.
And this drive not only fueled by the catch by Lloyd, but the fake punt successfully pulled off by the Niners. This Kaepernick tries to loft that one into the arms of Hyde, and it's overthrown. Let's get an update. Let's send it back to JB in New York.
A big play narrows the gap for the Cards. How about rookie quarterback Logan Thomas in for the injured Drew Stanton? He's out of Virginia Tech. He's going to find Andre Ellington on a little wheel route right over the head of Nate Irving, the linebacker. Aqib Talib misses the tackle. Arizona closes the gap on the Denver Broncos 24-20. Start of the 4th, Jim Nantz.
Wow, that is a good one going on in Denver. Here we go. From the 18, 2nd and 10. And Hyde has nowhere to go. Only a 1-yard gain.
James Michael Johnson. Listen.
Hey, he
filling
played,
in, yes.
Yeah, he played with Common for 3 years at Nevada.
Well, there's a reason why they won all those games in Nevada. A lot of those guys are in the NFL. But he has really just, what a job by him coming in for the injured linebackers. Joe Mays, Derek Johnson. They had him slated to maybe be a nickelback, come in there on 3rd downs. Fast, tough. What a job by him there and today.
Third and 9. Bolden trying to stretch it out, but he's short by a yard. 4th and 1 coming up. Field goal will put San Francisco ahead. They're going to bring Dawson out.
Now, Jim Harbaugh ran down the sideline just to see what was it, a foot, a full yard? It's a yard. And you've got to kick this field goal.
It's going to be.
I think Coach Harbaugh is thinking about challenging the spot of the football. He's got that red flag in his left hand. He's going to let it go, it looks like.
27 yards for the lead. Dawson in on the hole. And the kick is good. Niners back in front. 19-17. They roll the dice on the fake punt. They're rewarded with the field goal in the lead. Early headlines. What a Donnybrook they had in Dallas. And this catch by Dez Bryant, kind of like the one we saw by Lloyd just a few moments ago, set up the Cowboys for the win in overtime with a field goal. And Brian Hoyer leads the Browns to a road win and a major comeback at Tennessee. They're 2-2. And the Colts over the Ravens today to go to 3-2 on the year. A 3rd straight win.
Yeah, you look at Brian Hoyer's numbers there. Hey, Jim, the Cleveland Browns are going to, their team is going to be carried by their defense. Well, that's not been the case. Their offense has been very good. Really all 4 games.
They were down 28-3 in that game on the road.
And they were down the opening weekend of the year to the Pittsburgh Steelers and almost came back and won. So Hoyer, Kyle Shanahan, offensive coordinator, they've made it exciting again in Cleveland. Pretty exciting game here too, of course.
Davis is going to challenge him. And Davis is met head on by Borland. It's a 26-yard run back. Here's catch in our game. We were talking about Des Bryant. Very similar. Lloyd's helped set up the field goal that has the Niners in front.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by The Judge from Warner Brothers Pictures. In theaters October 10th. Verizon. More live games than ever before with NFL Mobile. And by Papa John's, official pizza sponsor of the NFL.
A tight one here at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara with 8.5 to go. And Charles knocked sideways by Patrick Willis for no gain.
He is a form tackling middle linebacker. Watch number 52. Watch how he gets in there, squares up, arms go out, wraps around you. And we got a chance to talk to him yesterday, Jim. There's no doubt he's in good shape to play that position. Takes care of himself. Can't wait to get his good friend Navarro Bowman back there with him side by side.
2nd and 10. And that's Bo trying to back in for a first. He's a yard short, 3rd and 1 on the way.
Do like the fact as this game goes along even last week. Good job by the 49er defensive backs. They are trying to make it tough, not giving up any easy throws.
Third and 1. And a knockdown. It's amazing how many times on short situations today they've tried to fool the defense by going up top.
Yep, trying to throw it out in the flat. Not having great trust, to me, Jim, in their up front people to push them back 1 yard. I don't know. Ahmad Brooks, we've talked about him, terrific against the run. Great job of seeing the drop by the quarterback, the quick throw, and getting up and knocking it down. Good and smart.
So Colquitt with 7:20 to go. And that bounce cost the Chiefs about 5 yards. 35-yard punts. 19-17 San Francisco. 49ers have the football and the lead. With 7 minutes and 10 seconds to play, starting this drive from the 32. The 2 tight ends are going to throw on first down. Going to go for the big ball. And it's knocked away by Sean Smith. Intended for Brandon Lloyd.
Beautiful coverage, Sean Smith right with him. Stays inside. Sean Smith is a big corner, so it's hard to throw the football and drop it in perfectly over the top of him. Good play call, though, I think, by the San Francisco 49ers. You know, trying to, Kansas City defense probably, they might be thinking, hey, they'll try to run the clock out, be careful. Took that shot down the field. Good try.
2nd and 10. Go the middle, and it's there for Gore. Gore has it out across the 45 and a pickup of 13.
Watch the left side of the offensive line. Joe Staley, they all push it down. They just crush it inside. And Bruce Miller, the fullback, seals it. And that little fake around was enough to keep Tamba Hali from crashing down and making the tackle.
Gore within 3 yards of 100. The 49ers all-time rusher by almost 3,000 yards over Joe Perry. Having another good afternoon of it. And it gives way to Hyde, who gets the call for 2. Again Thursday, your football week will start right here on CBS and NFL Network. The Colts will come in having won 3 straight, taking on the 3-2 Texans. J.J. Watt and company. They lost today up in Dallas, but they're also 3-2, and we'll have it coming up on Thursday Night Football.
And what are you saying? What did you say? It's going to be an exciting, close game. Okay. Because, you know, I've learned working with you, you're never wrong.
You told me Minnesota was going to win that game the other night.
I didn't say that.
Kaepernick gets flushed out of the pocket and steps out of bounds at the Kansas City 44.
What a job. It is amazing. Colin Kaepernick, most quarterbacks like to escape to the side of the throwing hand. For him, it means right side. But when you look at the breakdowns, the Chief says no. He scrambles left much more and throws the football better moving to his left than he does to his right. That was a good job. Down the sideline, gets the first down.
Kaepernick with 23 yards on the ground today has had 3 straight games coming in of over 50 yards rushing. For 2. As we're going to move inside of 5 minutes before the next snap.
Well, it's been some hard-fought football game up inside today. Offense and defensive lines, it's been a great battle.
Second and 8. Good catch. That's Carrier.
That football got away from Colin Kaepernick. It slipped out of his hands. Right out in the flat. What a job. What a catch.
He's a yard shy of a first.
These are game-winning catches. You're watching this.
Yeah, Carrier getting more time today, of course, with Vernon Davis inactive with his back injury.
49ers grinding out a lot of plays. It's Kansas City defensive front. It's not deep. Big play here.
They've struggled on 3rd down in this half. 1 of 6. And again, they wrap up Dorr. We'll check the flag. Ali and Abdullah were the 2 to bring him down.
Andy Reid's trying to decide. It must be against, of course, the 49ers. Do you move them back or do you let it 4th down in about 2 yards? I would say 4th down. If the 49ers
illegal formation
win
on the offense, wide receiver coming up the tight end. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
That's what he had to do.
yes. If you go for it here, well, they're going to go for the field goal.
Dawson for another try from 50 plus. This will be 54 yards.
This is a big gamble, but he's made so many field goals. Jim, you talked about it. He makes it look so easy. Jim Harbaugh making a tough decision.
Well, if he misses, the Chiefs take over at the 44.
I think you go for it here and you go ahead and kick it and try to get the points. Oh, Kansas City.
12 men.
Oh my goodness.
On the defense. That 5-yard penalty resulted in 1st down.
What a time for that one.
That is unbelievable.
1st down for the 49ers.
If the ball is about ready to be snapped, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's there. Oh my gosh, he knows what a huge play. Time off the clock. Maybe still a chance to drive down and get the touchdown. And the other thing, a little relief too, Jim, because that decision that Jim Harbaugh was making, that was a tough one, but I would have done the same. I would have gone for the field goal. But I'm not getting paid to make that decision.
Inside go. Hyde. Gain of 3.
Well, time is still not a factor when you look at the game against Kansas City. If they hold them till field goal, 4 minutes to go, 3 timeouts and a 2-minute warning. But the one thing we know, 49ers are in much easier field goal position now.
Second and 7. And another first down for Gore. How about Bruce Miller helping clear a path for 8?
He's been outstanding today, Bruce Miller.
Gore is over 100.
As Jim Harbaugh says, this guy's a Swiss Army knife. He can do it all. That time he got the block on James Michael Johnson. Yeah, Joe Staley says he knows what it means.
Timeout called by the Chiefs.
Wearing them down.
3:31 to go. This is a script we've seen before from the Niners and Harbaugh.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the all-new 2015 Acura TLX. It's that kind of thrill. And by Fidelity Investments. Tap into the full power of your Fidelity Green Line.
We are back, and the 49ers trying to grind out another victory. They've run 20 more plays in this half than the Chiefs.
Look at that, 28 minutes there since the first quarter. In San Francisco, it is true. They've been out there so long, and I told you the defensive line, especially up front, they're not deep on the Kansas City side. Well, the game on the line, you got to put your best guys in there.
Well, the thing is, they had stopped them, and then they had 12 men on the field on their special teams.
That's right.
They would have gotten the football back. First and 10. 3:31 to play from the 20 of Kansas City. That's Hyde. And again, it was Miller opening up a gap. That's 11 for the rookie.
It's unbelievable. And he is just a superstar blocking. Watch 49 into the center. Kilgore again wins the battle up front.
Another timeout called by the Chiefs, leaving them with 1.
What a luxury to be able to line up and just run it up the middle and control the clock.
So timeout for Kansas City and a first and goal to go. Jim Harbaugh has been much more in the discussion this week than he would like, as people have reported that there's unrest within the team ranks. And, you know, we got a close-up view yesterday with the 49ers. What did you see?
Well, I'll just say this. I believe, you know, the rumors, players do talk and say these things to players, so I'm not disagreeing with that. I say this. Look at his record. He loves his players. He defends them to us. You can't say a bad word. And when players are not going well, things are not going well, they always have one thing. Hey, it's not me, it's the coach.
Pushed back, but the forward progress at a gain of 1. We talked to Kaepernick, and he was talking about his coach. He says, I love having a coach who I know who has my back.
Has his back, and you know a quarterback loves that when the head coach has his back. And look, I'll just say this to you, Jim. Where have they been the last 3 years?
NFC Championship game appearance every time.
That's right. Oh, but it's not important. It's we all got to get along. You know, it's okay if the players are a little uneasy with the head coach because he's the man in charge. He calls the shots.
Jed York, the owner here, had a comment about it this morning. He said, Jim is my coach. We're trying to win a Super Bowl, not a personality or popularity contest. Any more questions?
You know, I'll give you this one. You know, I'm always quoting Bill Parcells. Somebody said, hey, the players this and that about, and they said to him, and he goes, listen, if I was the players, I'm not really worried what I'm thinking about them. They better be worried what I'm thinking about them. So, you know, the head coach, Jim Harbaugh, has done a tremendous job, and I do believe it. He is in this with the players.
All right, so you got a second and goal in this game. Now that Kansas City has used all of its timeouts, if the Chiefs can somehow keep them out of the end zone, they'd have time here to make a run at the 49ers. But they have not been able to stop this ground attack.
Second and goal at the 30-yard line.
These last few runs. 5 first downs on this drive for the 49ers.
They got everybody up to stop the run.
Kaepernick still has it. Able to break a tackle. And Abdullah is able to tackle him. 13 and a loss of 2.
Well done by the Kansas City defense. They play disciplined at time. Tamba Hali doesn't really get full. Look, you can't bring this big guy down one-on-one in the open field. A nice tackle by Abdullah.
He stayed in bounds, though, Kaepernick.
Yeah, that was the most important thing. I think they're going to run this all the way down to 1 second and call a timeout. Yes.
Harbaugh standing next to the side judge. And there's a timeout called by the Niners. They'll have a 3rd and goal coming up from the 12. Next Sunday, the NFL on CBS. Regional action. The Broncos against the Jets. The Steelers battle the Browns. Chargers rock with the Raiders. You can check your local listings with JB, Tony, Bart, Coach, and Boomer getting it all started on the NFL today.
Let me say this, Jim. You look at this 49er team. Do you think they fought hard today? I'd say.
Oh, no question.
I mean, they have fought, right? Did they fight hard last week? It was unbelievable. They refused to lose last week. I'm watching it on, a tape where you can't even hear the sound, and I could feel the passion they were playing with. This team doesn't react and play like a team that's really down about their coach and all that stuff. And, again, let me just say real quick, I know players complain, and it's easy to do it off the record, but I don't see it when I watch this team.
All right, how about this play call coming up?
Well, are they going to try to win the game right here, or do you run the football and take it to 2-minute warning, kick the field goal, and make Kansas City do it the hard way? I would run it.
Roll out. Kaepernick throws it. End zone. Incomplete. In and out of the hands of Bolden.
That was a really good play design. It was safe. Move the quarterback. You throw the football to your best player. 81. Does he have? Oh, my gosh. Nice push off. It's just out of reach. He only got his fingertips on it. That'd have been a Dwight Clark catch there if he had pulled that one down.
30-yard attempt. Dawson 4 for 4 after 4 for 4 last week. And for those of you just joining us, he's nailed 2 from outside of 50 today. This kick is good. Even though the Chiefs came flying through, Chris Owens almost got there in time.
I think they hit each other.
Once 20 collides with his own teammate here.
Oh, he gets hit in the leg. Usually, you designate one side to be the blocking side. It'll go for the block. That time, both did.
And Philip Gaines coming in from the other side.
Well, by throwing that pass, really all it does is now look at the clock. It means a return and probably just one play is what they give up to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, the Chiefs saw the 49ers keep the football for about 5 minutes on that drive. 49ers in their last 12 trips into the red zone, 4 touchdowns. That's it. So they've had issues trying to close the deal. And again, 5 field goals today for Dawson, 2 of them long range. They brought a card out for Owens. He's going to
walking it off.
Try to walk it off to the sideline. Well, it's a perfect scenario for the script that Alex Smith could only dream of, coming back to San Francisco, having a chance to get one last crack at the end to drive down the field for what would be a winning touchdown against a team that traded him away.
If it happened, it'd be too good to be true, right? If he got it done. But the difference, it wouldn't be such the odds wouldn't be so much against him if he had timeouts. The fact that he has no timeouts, he's going to have to be very aggressive throwing the football.
Smith still maintains close friendships with a number of players on the 49ers.
Tremendous respect from the coaches and the players here. He was well liked because he was a hard worker, but of course, you've said it many times today, extremely productive as a winning quarterback here under Jim Harbaugh.
Anthony Thomas is the returner back deep without a chance to run it. So they must go 80 yards with 2:12 and no timeouts, just the 2-minute warning. We were at Denver week 2, and they were in a similar scenario, and they managed to get all the way down near the 5-yard line and had some throws into the end zone before the last attempt was knocked down incomplete, and the Broncos held on for a 7-point win. Very similar situation. They opened this game today with an 81-yard drive for a touchdown. They got Charles in a slot to the left. First down. And batted away by Culliver. Pass intended for A.J. Jenkins.
That probably would have been the side I wouldn't have picked. I would have come to the open side where you had Dwayne Bowe one-on-one. 49ers in these situations usually double the right side of the defense, the left side of the offense.
Intercepted by Parrish Cox.
He took a chance and just overthrew it.
He was going for Fasano, and the pass was overthrown and intercepted.
Watch Parrish Cox, what he does. Here's what happens. Inside, he comes outside. His job is to watch the second receiver in. That's the tight end. So he middles 1 and 2. He falls off to the inside, the overthrow, and he gets the interception. That was perfectly played by the call and the technique by Parrish Cox, and it wins him the football game.
Yeah, nothing but kneel downs to come. It had been a long time since Alex Smith had thrown a pick on the road, including the playoffs, nearly 300 pass attempts.
It was a small window, but we said it right before the drive. That's what you have to do when you've got a little window like that. Even though it was tough, you got to take a chance as a quarterback. That's the only way you're going to win the game. And Andy Reid, the 12 men on the field, the fake punt against them, those were huge plays, but the fake punt by the 49ers, you got to look back at that too, Jim, and say, great call, and one of the big differences in this game today.
One more kneel down to come. And tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes, plus the new hit drama Madam Secretary, The Good Wife, and CSI, all new tonight on America's #1 network.
Terrific game, though. Just really well played. Two fast, physical teams. 49ers, boy, are they grinding out victories last week and this one here today. They deserve a couple days off.
49ers are going to go to 3-2 on the season. Chiefs will fall to 2-3. Chiefs go into a bye before they resurface at San Diego in 2 weeks. And the 49ers will be traveling on to St. Louis for a Monday night affair next week. Frank Gore over 100. Kaepernick throws for 201 and a touchdown. Alex Smith.
Good to see you, bro.
Hello to his former coach.
Yeah, tough loss for Alex Smith, but been a good start to the season, him. And like I said earlier, hey, he's in the right spot now for himself with Andy Reid.
Final score here in Santa Clara. The 49ers 22 and the Chiefs 17. Tonight on CBS, again, 60 Minutes, followed by Madam Secretary and The Good Wife. For Phil Simms and Tracy Wolfson, Jim Nance saying so long. You've been watching the NFL on CBS. We'll join James Brown in New York after this.